This podcast is supported by patrons. You can find a full list of them in the description of this episode. Good morning, my listeners. Good morning, listeners of Good Morning BSS World Podcast. Today we are connecting again with Ukraine, and we are going to focus on another very interesting business which is based in Kyiv, and not only in Kyiv, but this you will hear a little bit later on. Of course, I am not the only one on this talk. Today my guest is Max Lysak. Hi Max, how are you?
Hello Wiktor, hello listeners, I'm good today.
So let's share with our listeners, where are you based now?
I'm based in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine.
Okay, so this is a very good place to be at when it comes to the IT industry in Ukraine. So Kyiv is like a heart of Ukrainian IT industry. We are already having some connections with IT Ukraine Association, which also has headquarters in that city. So maybe we will start our talk with general information of what is going on nowadays in the IT Ukrainian world.
The situation is not that bad. That's the exact phrase. How would I describe it? Because when the war broke up in Ukraine, we had the expectation that everything will be just frozen and the industry will collapse. But that's not what happened. Actually, this industry, the same as during recent crises like COVID, became only more resilient, right? So what we experienced, so of course, we had like very turbulent period starting from late February till I would say end of May last year, and this turbulence was caused, because of Russians invaded Ukraine, and lots of companies had to emergently relocate to western part of Ukraine, and there was like a lot of electricity outages. We couldn't provide decent service to clients, but what companies showed like very good anti-fragility, I would say, and it resulted in 0% growth of the industry, which is great result under all the circumstances, right? Before the war, Ukrainian IT industry were growing like from 25 to 30% year over year. It had 0% last year, which is great, I say. If we take about recent stats, though, so I believe in first quarter there was a drop. It was like around 15 or 16% drop, but comparing to the first quarter of last year. But usually first quarter is not very representative. There is growth in second quarter. So I would say that in the forthcoming year, we won't see a growth, but we will see like flat, and flat is okay under all the circumstances we have.
Oh yeah, definitely. Keeping the same results for 2 years in the row, having in mind the difficult situation which you are facing, that's a good situation to actually to have. Okay, these podcasts are from one side to talk about what is going on in the Ukrainian in general as IT industry, but from the other is to focus on very interesting companies. And you are representing Mate Academy, very interesting business, which is based in Ukraine. So maybe let's start with talking about you and your role in Mate Academy. Who are you at Mate Academy?
Okay, I'm one of the co-founders of this company, and I'm responsible for marketing, recruiting, and sales. Basically, my role is written as Chief of Growth. That's my responsibility that we grew at a steady pace.
Chief of Growth. So lots of things you have on your head and on your desk to be taken care of. Okay, so you as a Chief of Growth and one of the co-founders of this business, tell us a little bit of the history of the business, how it started, when it started, and why it started.
So that's a very interesting story. So it started in 2015, and it was started by one of our co-founders, Anna, as a just side hustle. So she was studying in tech university, but she didn't learn how to code in one of the best tech universities. And why so? Because universities are a bit slow into adapting to more current technologies, right? And she thought that if she went through one of the best tech universities and didn't learn how to code, then somebody needs to solve this problem and teach people how to code. But she didn't want to do it in a standard way of like having customers paying you upfront and then teaching them. But she wanted to be like to have skin in the game. So the offering was, let me teach you how to code, and then only if you get a job in tech, you will pay me back, and you will pay me a percentage from your future tech salary. And if we take into consideration the time, it was the time when we had a very big crisis in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian currency, hryvnia, devaluated 3 times. And everybody wanted to join in tech, in IT, because salaries are tied to US dollars, right? So she started this company. It was a small company. It was like her side hustle. She was doing it for 3 years. And she managed to help 100 people to get into tech industry, and they were very grateful. And the loyalty of these people to Mate was enormous, but it was still her like side hustle. And that was the time when in 2018, I and my friend and now partner Roman left our occupations. Roman left Google New York, he worked there. I left my startup, and we joined Mate in order to make this a digital product and help people worldwide to learn how to code and get their first job in tech without paying anything upfront, and only paying after they get a job and have a decent salary.
That's a very interesting approach. You were like a bank, like giving credits to people that, okay, we trust you that once you finish, you get the job, you will pay us. That's so unusual. That's so unusual.
That is very unusual, and also it helped us to have in our company DNA this mutual interest with the student, that if he is not successful, we are not successful as well. Because if he didn't get, or she didn't get a job, they do not pay us, and we as a business will collapse. So we were very, very interested in every single student to have them placed in a company, so they start paying us back.
Okay. So it was 2015 start, 2018 you joined the business and started to grow it. Where are you now? Where Mate Academy is now?
Yeah, so after 2018, when I and Roman and Anna started to working on it full time, basically we joined when we had 100 students employed. Currently, we have 2,500 people working in tech thanks to Mate Academy.
2,500 in 5 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And every consequent year, we employ more than all years before. So we are growing like in a big progression.
That's a nice start. And is everything focused on Ukraine only?
Actually, not. A major part of our operations are in Ukraine, but last year we started to export our model to other countries. And actually, we have an office in Warsaw, Poland. And this is very, very promising office. We already have around 15 people working there, and we already have students who have finished Mate Academy in Poland and get a job. One guy was working in Biedronka, and now he's working as software engineer thanks to Mate Academy. We had a very experimental group last year of few students from Poland. We helped them with education. We helped them join the companies, and we understand that our model works in Poland. And after that, we started to scale this model, and late February, the first group of 30 students started in Poland, and now we are having few different groups, enrollment process for few different groups in Poland right now. Yeah.
You mentioned other countries than Ukraine, and now Poland is under our discussion. Is it the only country where you are outside of Ukraine, or there are some others as well?
There are some other countries, but I wouldn't say that we have offices there. We just have few students from these countries to understand where our model suits the country and the business, because there are some similarities, but some differences between countries. And I don't think that we can work in every country. So we just launch few international groups with few students from each country to understand where our model will work. And Poland showed great results. We concentrated on it heavily. And the next market that is showing good results is Latin America. So that may be a next destination.
I've got a couple of good friends in Latin America, so I can connect you with the good people over there. But anyway, let's now focus on this education part. So you are spending time with your students to teach them to be good in certain programming language or whatever you are teaching them. How long does it take?
So one important thing that our format of studying is very similar to full-time job. Students who are joining us, they learn coding with us from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening. So it's like a full-time job. And if you work with us in such a pace, in 4 to 5 month period, you are ready to get your first job in tech.
4 to 5 months, full-time job.
Yep.
Wow. So it means that the students are very much committed actually to get those skills, because spending 5 months with you every day from Monday to Friday, it is like a regular job.
Yes, but we are talking about career change, right? So university says you will get a career if you go with us for 5 years. And we are saying you'll get a new career if you go with us for 5 months.
That's amazing. And I like the idea because you can teach people any kind of skills in this model. You are focusing on the tech skills. And talking about that, what kind of courses or what kind of skills are the most required at the moment? Because I can understand that there is a number of programming languages. Yeah, there is a number of technical skills which you can get. Probably you are analyzing which are the most popular or people are asking for them and so on. So which are on the top?
Yeah, so our approach is not to ask people what they want. Our approach is analyze the market, the employer, and ask what they want. And based on the employer, on the number of open vacancies for junior position, we craft our programs. And in Ukraine, it's mostly technical positions like front end developer, full stack developer, Java developer, QA engineer, designer, recruiter. In Poland, we've started with front-end developer based on JavaScript language, full stack developer. It's also JavaScript plus Node.js. It's Java. Java is very popular among companies in Ukraine, and it's quality assurance. It's like the people who test websites.
Okay. So this is actually a great thing, because this is not that people say, oh, I would like to know, I don't know, C++ or whatever, but you are saying, look, the market needs people with Java, so we will teach you Java.
Yes, yes. And we have a very complex framework. We also analyze the amount of people who compete for certain position just to make sure that we are not making it harder for people, but we are trying to figure the vacancies where the competition is not that high to make the chances of the person to get the job higher.
Okay, so now we know a little bit of your history. We know where you are and the model, how you teach people and what you teach people, but it means you need to have a good teachers. So how does such class, such teaching look like? Yeah? Is it like one teacher and a group of students, or this is one to one connectivity? How does it work?
Yeah, there is a great phrase that I really love that says like this: "People who don't know teach. People who know do." And that's you can see it all across educational industry, right? And our approach is to break this, right? Is to make that people who do teach. That's very important. So my co-founder Roma, he worked in Google as a software engineer. Then he worked there as a team lead. He also took he was a participant of World Math Olympiads, and he has like a very good background in how to learn effectively. And he knows how software engineer should look like after their Google and what skills he should or she should possess. So we have a very rigorous approach uh, of selection people who will teach, and it's very important for us that these are not only teachers. We don't want their because in tech everything changes so fast that if you will be just a pure teacher for 2 years, your knowledge will be outdated. So in our company, we have people who work like this. They work 50% of their time as software engineers developing our platform and our product. 50% of the time they work on study materials and work with students. And this works really well. Also, we have a system where people from other companies who feel this desire to share, and this is internal desire of many people in the world to share their knowledge, they can log in into our platform, help few students, and get paid for this. Of course, we do prior selection of these people. We interview them and make sure that their knowledge is on the level that they can share it with other people. We have the system of checking their knowledge, and yeah, so it works like answering a question. We have very rigorous selection of people, and we check if they know how to do stuff, and then we make sure that they not only teach but they also do it on a regular basis to not have their skills outdated.
That's a very wise approach. And how big is your team now? So I understand it like there is a core team, so people who work in Mate Academy and who are just regular employees, but some of your teachers or people who act as teachers are like contracted, yeah, or are co-working with you. So how big is your team?
So the core team, it's around 130 people. That's full-time employees. And we have around 50, 70 external mentors who just log into our platform and help students to get the task solved or check their homeworks and provide detailed feedback on what was done right and what was done wrong. Because if you think about it, the most important part in learning a technical profession, it's not listening to lectures, it's doing stuff, and then somebody more experienced looking at the stuff you've built and showed you what was done good and what was done bad and give you comments, and you just redo it. People learn tech by like writing the code by their hands, not by their ears when they just listen to the lecture.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Learning the skills in just listening, it is not learning. You just have to practice, practice, practice. And probably most of these 4 or 5 months is focused on practicing of what people get. Okay. Um, one more question. So the company is working. You have really great idea how to educate people, but actually your target is that those people get work because then you are getting paid. Yeah. Are you somehow also supporting people in finding them the jobs, or is it just on their own? How does it work?
Yeah, because our interest is so closely tied with the interests of students, we help them throughout the whole journey. So we help them with crafting their CV resume. We help them with crafting their motivation letter. We also parse all the available positions that match their skill set and provide them on our platform so they can apply. We also train them to go through interview because it can be very stressful time. So we organize test interviews so they are not that worried. And even after they get the first job, we support them for 2 years because sometimes people become not happy on their work, and because they are junior, they don't know how to express this unsatisfaction to their manager, and so we help to communicate with the company in a better way what you don't like, what you like, how to match your skill set to bring the most value to the company.
Okay. So now I have to ask this question. Once somebody is successful, yeah, so you have teach that person everything.
Yes.
The person is willing to start the job, is prepared to how to sell him or herself to the future employer, gets this job. And then this is the moment when this person needs to pay you for for your service, for your education which you have provided. How much is that?
Yes, that's a great question. And we charge, after the person get their first job in tech, 13%, 12% from their salary for 3 years. It it is expensive, I must admit, and we do not want to be cheap. We hire best software engineers to teach these people. We have best materials and mentors to help them go through the process. We have the best HR team who helps them to get a job, and we want to be paid in the manner in order to be able to employ these people. So it comes to a hefty price, but it's also risk-free for a person. If he or she doesn't get a job, they pay us zero. They have zero responsibility to pay us if they don't get a job. If they got it, 12% for 3 years.
And if somebody changes the job within these 3 years, it means that you don't care, yeah, because this is first paid from one employer and then from the other.
Yeah, so the system works in that way. Our customer is the person, not the company. So it's not the company who is paying us; it's the person who's paying. He or she just logged into our website and have monthly payments, and they do these payments. If the person has a period in their life when they are 2 or 3 or whatever amount of months off the work, they do not pay us. But after they change from one employer to other employer, and this employer starts to pay them, they start paying us again. So it's designed not for 3 years, but 36 payments.
Okay, 36 payment. That's very, very clear. So it means that you have to have some kind of a contract or an agreement with your student, yeah, who is obliged to fulfill these payments for 36 months.
Yes, this agreement is available on our website. We make sure that everybody reads it. We sign the contract before the studies starts, and we have in contract foreseen the 14 days period. I call it no strings attached. If somebody doesn't like, he can cancel the contract in 14 days. But I would say 99% of students who start with us, they're just so deep into learning and love it so much that they don't breach the agreement.
I must say, I really, really like your model. So what's the next step? What's the future of Mate Academy?
Yeah, so our mission is to help 1 million people around the globe to get their first job in tech. And we want everybody, no matter of their life circumstances, to get a career in an industry that develops and give people opportunity to earn, right? And our model is like, if you have a device and internet connection, we will help you in 4 or 5 months to get a job in tech. We are not there yet because we are scaling gradually country by country. We are now in Ukraine, Poland, this year, a few countries of Latin America, but eventually we want to cover more and more countries and help 1 million people to get their first job in tech.
1 million people.
That's what keeps our company and people in the company motivated, because every single day we have notifications in our internal communication tool called Slack about 3, 4, 5 people who got their first job in tech, and we see the story of these people. And they are very interesting. Somebody was like, we had a priest, we had builders, we had people who work in the sea, we had government officials, we have even a member of parliament, ex-member of parliament, who went through Mate and became a software engineer. And every day, 4 or 5 people become software engineers thanks to Mate. And we see the stories of these people and we see, oh, we are changing people's life. What can be a better motivation to work?
So I keep my fingers crossed for you to reach this 1 million in the very, very short time. And to be honest, listening and hearing what you are saying to me, this is like an absolutely great opportunity. It costs nothing, and then you pay for something what you already earned. So this is not even risk included in this whole process. Wow, Max, to be honest, this is absolutely very inspiring project, and I am keeping my fingers crossed for you to grow it not only in Europe and in Latin America, but probably all other continents are in your reach sooner or later. But to do it, people know how to reach you. So tell me how to get to you.
Yeah, it's actually Mate, MATE .academy /PL if you're in Poland, /UA if you're in Ukraine.
No, so it looks like you are creating domains dedicated to each country. So probably sooner or later you will have more Mate academies with this ending dedicated to a proper country. Anyway, Max, it was great to talk to you. So fantastic things you are doing over there in Ukraine, in Poland now, and now moving to Latin America. So keep my fingers crossed for the further growth. And thank you for today.
Thank you, Wiktor. Thank you for helping to spread the word about people, about Medacademy to people. Thanks for this interview and wish you a great day today.